All right. So I kind of threw us both under the bus on the last episode, Steve. So welcome everyone. You're going to get what I promised. We're going to tell you what is the actual deal with us. How did we meet? What happened? And I think we might unbury some skeletons in the closet. This is going to be an entertaining
Kinda.
story. Yeah, I have skeletons on you. It is so funny. But you've
I
got them
had to
on
get
me
an
too.
extra closet for the ones I have on you. So
Just a closet. I thought it was a walk-in.
well, it's a storage unit.
Oh, okay. So the reason we want to do this conversation with you today on this episode is you never know who you're going to come across in your life that is going to end up being your business bestie. Everyone wants to be the business bestie with their best friend because, oh my God, we grew up together and I just love them. And they're so much like me and we like the same things and we do the same things and they think like me. Shut
Yeah.
up.
Until one overspends something and didn't consult the other one, and there it all goes.
And the other piece of this is if you have someone who is too much like you,
Oh,
or looks at things in the same perspective as you can end up going down this whole path that is absolutely going to just go off the deep end.
because neither of you are staying on the rails to your goal. Because you're both, oh, I like your idea. And next thing you know, that train is going off the rails and you're both on it and enjoying it.
Yeah, I know. And you're not even sure what happened or how it happened or why it happened. So you're just like, oh my gosh, it's fine. We're doing these things and it's working out and it just is amazing. And, blah, 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 blah. And that's what we're doing. And then you're like, but why are we broke? Why did our business fail? Or even there's also the other one. Your business might be okay, but your best friend of 35 years or whatever is no longer in your life.
That's true. And I mean, I've seen it so many different ways. I saw this partnership on a business was consulting. These two were oil and water together.
Yeah.
Oil and water. You put them in a room and say, okay, great. What's your vision for the business? Both of them, it sounded like they were echoing each other. They were on the same page. Who does what? I do this. I do this. Totally opposite. These two were the most opposite people. And my question was, are you guys good friends? And they both laughed and said, no, we never go to have dinner together. We never hang out with each other's spouses. We never do any of that. We are true business partners. We both have a vision and we have a partnership agreement. We are on the same page all the time. That business was growing, and the employees, I asked the employees, like, do they get along? And they're all laughing. They're like, no, they don't get along. They argue all the time. But when they resolve something, they execute what they talked about.
Yeah. But I'm also going to tell you the flip side because
Yes.
we started so rough. And rough is it.
You were
Okay, yeah, we're gonna get into that. But because we started there, I actually, when I talk to people about you, I actually consider you in my closest inner circle of friends.
same.
We are like, I mean, I've had several people say that we're like a husband and wife in business.
Yeah.
I've had people say, like, are you related? Because you act like siblings in a way.
I think
Did you
siblings, because people see us talking and like getting elevated, and they're like, you guys hate each other. Well, why are you talking to each other? I'm like, no, no, no. We're working a problem out.
Oh, the other side is they see it when we're doing playful banter with each other and they think something else is going on.
Right.
But yeah, but we started off rough and now we would consider ourselves inner circle friends with each other. And yes, are we doing a business together? Yeah. Is that business going to affect our friendship? I don't know, because we did the partnership plan first thing, we set it
Absolutely.
down, we're ready to go on that, and we know how we work with each other because we've done many little pieces of this over years to do
Years.
that. So I think we need to spill the beans on this whole story. Do you want to go for you? I think how you explain how you first met me and your perception of me is probably going to be the funnest thing.
Uh, well, we were at a meeting for Toastmasters, a business meeting, and this crazy, disorganized, disheveled lady comes and sits right in front of me. Well, a little bit off to the side.
I wasn't that disheveled.
Like,
You didn't like the fact that I had my baby with me.
baby, and we're in a business meeting, and you had to keep getting up and down because of baby. And here I was, one of the secretaries taking the notes, so that kind of stuff distracted me. So I'm thinking, what's up with the crazy lady with the baby? And I know she saw the glares and the look and everything else.
God.
And then we were at another meeting like a week or so later, and there she is again. And I think my
With the
comment
baby.
was, oh, you have your baby with you, or something along those lines.
It was like, oh, you brought the baby again.
Yeah.
Or something like that. It was, and I was like, you're a dick. I didn't say that out loud, but I think I
No, the look on
thought,
your face said it all.
you're a dick.
So I sat on the opposite side of the room to avoid the lady with the baby.
Yeah.
Let's get something right. I have kids,
Mhm.
but we were in
But
a
you never took
business
your kids to
meeting.
business.
Yeah. And I'm business at that time in my life. I was like, we're all business here, and this is the way it's going to be.
And by the way, the baby was like 3 months old at this time.
Yes.
It was a baby. It was
Baby.
a baby. And so, but I'm here, and in my head, I wanted to get something accomplished. So I was just doing whatever I needed to do to get it accomplished. And if that meant I had to push a stroller with a baby in it, I was going to push that stroller with a baby in it and get my shit done. But there was Steve being a complete and utter dick. Like everyone else was like, all the women in the meeting were cooing and wanting to hold the baby, and and some of them I wasn't letting.
Yeah.
And then the men were just like, oh, okay, whatever. Steve was the only one that was like the outright asshole about it. Didn't say
Yeah.
anything,
No filter.
didn't do anything, but it was oh, the baby again.
Yep. Well, I know
So
you, besides that, I think I also did other things.
I think he fussed at one point, and you were like, some of us are trying to pay attention or something like that.
Yeah.
Because he fussed. But you were just being, and I'm gonna let you know, Steve has actually mellowed out in his old age. He's not
I didn't hear you.
I know, but he is not as assholey as he used to be. He can be. Oh, he absolutely can be. And this went on for about 3 or 4 months where you were not liking the fact that this baby was coming with me
Oh,
to every one of these meetings.
we were at so many meetings at that time around that
This
organization.
is this is pre-pandemic. This is before
Yes.
the pandemic. So everything was in person. Everywhere was going everywhere. Everything was done in this way. And then they forced us to work together on a project. And I think both of us rolled our eyes. We were like,
Great. Is she gonna bring the baby?
yeah, God, is he gonna be a dick? you know, and I think that's when we had actually our first conversation. Like we said like hello, goodbye,
Right.
pass this, can you pass me this sugar for the whatever. We said those things.
Well, we got to know each other's name at that point after multiple encounters. That was the first time we
Yeah,
even name.
and I think at that point you knew that he was my youngest of 5 kids.
Yes. And then I got hooked on that.
Yeah, you got hooked on that. That I was this. I had 5 kids and a homeschooler, so I think you thought I was some form of religious zealot.
I don't want 5 kids.
you know, but you were just so dialed into me being the mom, me having these kids, me homeschooling the kids, bringing the baby with me, that I know you weren't willing to see what I brought to the table at that
No,
point.
no, not at
And
that point.
and at that point, I just saw you as this big asshole dick alpha man that I didn't even want to be in the same room as. I didn't think you had any skill set whatsoever. I thought your skill was being a, a
I did.
horrible person, a dick, a horrible person. I thought that's all you, I really, in my head, you were the person that demanded everyone got everything for, you never did, but in my head, I always
Yeah.
saw you as the person that went home with, put my slippers on me, woman, and feed me my food, and how dare you not have, I saw you as that like really aggressive, narcissistic, egotist. I'm calling you all sorts of names here, and it's kind of
I
funny.
know. Okay, I'll just sit here and wait till you're done.
But that's how I saw you. So our first interaction was horrible.
Yeah,
I think our first 10 were.
I'd
Mm,
agree on that.
yeah. And then they made us do a project together. And that was the first real conversation we had.
Yep.
And I remember there was 4 or 5 of us around that table. And it was both me and you. And we were trying to get the others to actually do the work and be online and be on topic
Yeah.
and get things done. And then you were like, hang on, you're trying to get shit done. And I was like, oh, hang on, you're trying to get shit done. Why are you trying to get shit done?
Right.
And you were
And
like, you can handle getting shit done with a baby?
yeah. And next thing you know, who does all the work?
Us two. And we nailed it.
Yeah.
And I even got people saying that how, oh my gosh, did you look at how that team did and everything was exactly how it should be? And we're like, yeah, because the two of us did everything we needed to be done. It was accomplished, it was checked off. And I think over those couple of weeks where we were doing that project is where I started to get respect for you because yeah, you were direct, but you were a little abrupt at times. You have softened that directness. You're not as direct as you used to be.
Yeah.
Because you'd be the person, oh God, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you talking to me? That was
Yeah.
how you'd be if you didn't want
How
to
dare
be
you?
bothered. How dare you? So you've softened some of that directness. You're still direct. You still don't like sugarcoat stuff and you still don't hide stuff. But it was over that project I started to respect you as actually knowing what you were doing with business and knowing how to run things and all that kind of stuff. And that's when I found out you did business coaching as well. And we started to talk a little bit about that. And then that's when you also found out what I did for a living and that I was actually an entrepreneur as well.
Right. Yeah, I got so
And
used to getting so high results from my clients being direct.
mhm. And I remember because you thought at first, because I think we had this conversation a while back. At first, when you heard what I did for my business, you just thought I was one of those like crazy influencer people that were pushing strollers and being like, all the trends and stuff. You didn't think I was
Take,
actually doing real business.
taking pictures of yourself everywhere.
Yeah, all that. And we started to have more conversations. And you started to, I think you were grilling me. Honestly, I think you were grilling me about my business at first.
Yeah, because I always go deep when I'm like same with clients. Let's go deep. I don't want the surface. Yeah, it's nice to hear like you're married and everything else, but let's go
Mhm.
deep. What makes you tick? What makes you do
Yeah.
what you do?
And I remember the one comment I made to you, which was the one after that comment, I made that comment to you, you started to talk to me very differently.
Yeah.
And what you asked me a question, and I said I answered it. And then you asked me, how did you manage that?
Hmm.
And my answer was, I really don't know. I tried to delete the email because when we were talking about my business, the fact that I told, because you would say, well, how do I know you're any good at what you do? Or I can't remember how you word it. How do you track your results? Or how do
Yeah.
you something along that line? And we were talking, and I mentioned about actually being in person, trained with the Meta and Facebook and that in an actual building, in a room, not online, not in Zoom, but sitting down with people from Meta and doing all this back and forth and testing stuff out and getting all these things. And you were just like, hey, wait a minute, how did you pull that one off? And that was after that conversation is when you actually started to talk to me more like an equal in business than
Yeah.
before. You were getting to know me before and you were asking me a lot of questions, but I never felt like I got treated like an equal until you saw the ROI and what I was doing in business.
Yeah, because I didn't see it.
Right.
And now look at us, 10,000 years later.
And I didn't start seeing your ROI because you were still an ass.
Yeah. Thank you.
It is good. Yeah. I think it was not the next, it was a year after that. It was literally, we'd been talking like on and off here and there for about a year at this point.
Because she was stalking me at all these events.
No, I really
We
wasn't. It was just
we
wherever we
joke
saw
about
each,
it, or I
yeah,
joke
we
about it.
joked
We just happen to both be in those groups and
in those
at those
groups
cons.
and you got asked to do, I got elected to do a role and you got asked to do a supporting role.
Yeah.
And I called you up and said, okay, I'm sick and tired of how this has been being done. Let's fuck this up.
But let's blow this shit up and stop following. It's the same thing. Business owners, well, we've always done it that way. That was this organization. We've always done it that way. And it wasn't working.
No. And that's when our calls went from, we never even called or texted before that. It was just whenever
No.
we saw each other. And I'd say within 3 months of that conversation, we were on a call or texting or something at least once a week.
Yeah, that was the call with the other group members. And then when we looked at each other like on Zoom, because I think it was right at the beginning of the pandemic, it was on Zoom,
It
and
was
you
right
and
at the
I looked at
beginning.
each other like they don't have a fucking clue what they're talking about. And both of us are like, we get it. Leave us alone and let us do our shit.
Yeah. Because one of the ideas we wanted to do is we wanted to do some form of employment fair where we could, it was communications based organization. So we wanted to be able to showcase the skills of teaching communication, but also have all these companies be able to showcase their job openings and be able to work together. And the pandemic happened, and everyone else was, well, that can't be done now.
Right.
How many speakers did we get and online and virtual? And what did we pull off? I think we pulled off a 3-day summit
Three
online,
day
all virtual.
summit. Yeah, virtual with speaking rooms and over 120 people showing up every
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. And everyone told us we couldn't get it done.
Oh,
And
in 5 weeks.
my headphone just died.
Oh. And we did it all in 5 weeks.
All in 5 weeks because we got told this all changed. We had a plan and then the plan changed and we had to do it all the way around. And then the next thing that we did, and this is when you were like, okay, you actually, I think you told me, I didn't realize you had a sense of humor.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
English.
I'm English because everyone was complaining about being virtual instead of in person. And I came up with this idea where we did a terrible Zoom meeting and I managed to convince someone to stand up in their boxers. And they did it.
Yeah.
In a
So,
professional Zoom.
yeah. But we gave good examples, but it blew the rest of the group out of the water going, how did you come up with this? And we did flip that in less than a week.
Mhm.
And I think we were trying to elevate their ship to us because our tide was already rising higher and higher, and their ships were still, well, at the port.
Yeah. But that was the year that I think that we really started to trust each other
Yeah.
because we kept getting thrown curveballs. Well, the position I was in, I was allowed to come up with ideas, and I have very far left field ideas at times. They're
Mhm.
like incredibly far reaching, but they work and they happen and things fall into place. And the only reason they're considered far reaching is because people haven't done it before. And I think that's when we realized I have the crazy and you have the systems. Because I
Right.
would say, I want to do this. And you'd be like, okay, so why? And I give you this, and then okay, so if you put this system in this framework and this, and it just really got to be this point where we could bounce off each other in under 30 minutes and have it all mapped out
And started.
and started.
And I think that's when we started realizing, like, forget them, let's focus on our stuff. And we kind of like almost separated.
Hmm.
They ended up stop asking us what our thoughts were, and they said, "What are you doing?" Because we were 10 miles ahead of them. By the time they said, "Hey, let's do this," it's like, "What do you mean it's done? It's already scheduled. It's happening in like 2 days. You need to catch up to us."
Didn't you see the email we sent you 3 weeks ago, and then the one we
Right.
sent 2 weeks ago, and the one we sent last week as well?
Yeah. We
Oh, I
got
wasn't
80
paying
people signed
attention.
up. Yeah.
Like, come on, why are you not paying attention to the shit? And that was that year. And I think that's when we realized that we were really good at bouncing ideas off each other, because you would come to me and go, I know I need to do this, but I'm not sure of an angle.
Yeah.
And I'd come to you and go, I need to do this, but I'm not sure of the system. And then we decided we were going to do these training videos. They'd never done these training videos with this organization, and they were all going online. So we needed to teach them about online, and we needed to teach them how to use things.
And I was on Zoom years and years before the pandemic.
Same, same. And it's like, okay, like online's my safe space. I'm in so much online stuff. It's like some stuff I can't even like. People would look at it. If they knew I talk to people like on this stuff, they'd be like, "You're not the person I thought you were." It's okay. I don't care. uh, but I remember you did a LinkedIn training for one of the things, and I was like, okay, he actually knows his shit on that. And I told you, and I think I started jokingly calling you a LinkedIn god after that.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, I
Yeah.
just need to make more videos.
And then I did something, and you were like,
I was
holy
on
shit.
Instagram
Yeah. And you
where
were
I
just
don't
like,
play.
uh, and that's when we both realized that each of us had these like amazing golden nuggets that the other person hadn't thought of or hadn't done. And
Right.
if I pulled your golden nuggets and you pulled, well, if we took the ideas,
Hey, don't be pulling my golden nuggets, you know.
we had enough with the wax on that one.
Didn't we talk about in another episode about our, yeah, come on, if you have the balls, don't be playing with my golden nuggets now.
Yeah. So, but this is when we did, and then it was the next year after that that you said, I am not going to do anything in this leadership role this year because I need a break. I need this. I need that. I need to do these other things. I've got to focus on that. And that's when you and a couple of other people decided to affectionately call me a cult leader,
You were a cult leader.
because somehow I managed to convince you to take on an entire role and redo an entire system and area for me.
One, yeah. Many. Well, at the same time, too, it was like, hey, listen, I'm doing this mentorship with this group. You should hop in. Let me introduce you.
Yeah, and you pulled me into that.
Yeah.
And so we got to know each other that year, and it was more on business. But then the next year, I think we actually got to know each other as people.
Yeah,
Because I
because
remember having conversations with you about your kids. It was
yeah,
something
because
that you
now
had
we're in a
never spoken
cluster.
to.
Yeah, we're in a cluster now, not a group. It was more like, wow, it's a little smaller, it's a little bit more intimate, it's different. We talk to each other differently in that group than everything else. And you're right. Yeah, we just
Yeah,
got to know each other.
we got to know each other. You talked to me about stuff that you didn't talk to other people about. And like I knew some of the things going on in the back of your head, things going on in your life. You knew things in the back of my head and in my life, stuff that we neither one of us put out publicly. But it got to this point where is if either one of us had a really shitty day, the phone would go with "got a minute." I think that's our go-to message is "got a
That's our
minute."
go-to. Because we know we're both in the middle of something or working with someone, something's going on. But yeah, you always respect each other's time. And we
Yes.
don't have boundaries anymore. Obviously, we
No.
created a business at 9:30 at night. Come on.
We've had calls at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
But when we started to have this thing, and that was the year that I think our friendship really took
Yeah.
off. Because as well, we'd realized we'd both gotten to a certain level with the group we were doing, and we were getting frustrated because we weren't getting as much as far as growth in that area.
It's true. I think the organization we were volunteering for was taking away from getting us off of our goals. And we needed a support system to balance and get us back on our own journeys, not just our volunteering journey, our business journey, our life journey.
And we both joined this organization to learn how to present better and how to have conversations and how to speak and how to do keynotes. But it got to the point where every time we went to somewhere where someone would do speaking, they always canceled and it always ended up being one of us speaking.
Yeah.
And I think we both got kind of bored
Real fast.
real fast. So we stopped preparing speeches,
Yeah.
completely stopped. Did that stop them asking us?
Nope.
Nope. So this is Zoom. So I want you to imagine this is on Zoom. Steve gets asked to speak, and I'm sending him messages on his Zoom screen of phrases and comments and things for him to talk about in his speech off the cuff.
We had this rule. I'm going to try to really expand your speaking skills by trying to throw you off. And if I put something in a phrase, a word, you have to integrate it seamlessly in your current presentation.
Yeah. And we got downright nasty on some of them to
Yes.
try and pull it. And this is a very reserved organization that doesn't really do a lot of the, how can we put this? Colorful
It's very vanilla.
habits.
And
Very
here we
vanilla.
are coming in with, a Napoleon mixed up, melted and re-frozen.
I think one of the ones you sent me, and the one I remember because it actually did make me laugh a little bit because it was just so random. I got asked to do a on the cuff speaking opportunity, and I get this message: you need to tell everyone whether you prefer a taco or a
Taco or
taquito.
burrito?
Taco or taquito.
Taquito.
And then the next line was, and I'm not talking food. Because at that, I think that was the point I just actually decided, you'd known for a while, but I just decided to be very public about my
Yeah.
orientation and not be as conservative or, like, good girl. And so you threw that in me, and I was like, oh shit, I just kind of put that out there like a week ago, and now you're making me do this in the middle of a speech.
And I gotta say, doing that, it sounds kind of harsh and mean and everything if you're from not understanding it. It actually helped both of us be better presenters. It really did, because you can't show it on your face because stuff happens. And it's the same thing in life. Stuff happens. Are you going to be frustrated with it and shut down? Or are you going to take it and roll with the punches? And that was our goal. It's like, don't get frustrated. Don't shut down. Use this as fuel and move forward. Even though we're improving the speech, you can still
Mhm.
do it, but we still had a goal, had a beginning, a middle, and an end. It
Yeah,
flowed, it made sense. We were really trying to trip each other up. And
yeah.
then,
And then we took it not even just in Zoom
oh,
calls, we were doing other
we
places. Like
took it
we
to a
did the
higher level.
oh God, remember Pride? And we had to we had that one person at Pride, and between the two of us, we had to explain puppies.
All sorts of, we opened their
Because
eyes,
we opened their eyes.
but
And then
once,
everyone found out that we had a standing joke
mhm,
that because I slipped up and did it where someone heard me.
mhm.
I didn't realize they were behind me and they heard me. Because at one point you were having it was a crap year. That was like a year late. It was a crap year. We were both stressed out. We were both frustrated. There was a lot of shit going on. It was not fun anymore. It was not fun.
No.
And so you would text me, say, go a minute, I'm having a bad day. And I'd call you back and go, hi, daddy, which would make you crack up and laugh, which is the only reason I did it.
Right. but too many people heard it one time at an
One
event.
person, no, one person heard it
Well,
one time at an event, and then they went and told everyone.
everybody. Yeah. And then I become the leader of this organization. And what do people call me?
Daddy. Well, no, even before that, they were like, when it was my turn to hand it over to you,
Yeah.
they were all like, well, it's time to say goodbye to mommy and hello to daddy.
And we kind of rolled with it where other people are like, what's going on? And a lot of people had to explain the joke to them, and it just kept spreading. But we never looked at it negatively. We thought of it like, own it, just own your shit.
Own it. And it was like we had conversations because I think this is the one thing that I'm gonna say one of the biggest things I've respected about Steve since, after the first year was difficult. The
Yeah.
first year was tough. That was a painful first year, like
That crazy lady, Jesus
um, oh
Christ.
my God, yeah, like is we can pretty much talk about any topic,
Yeah, anywhere, anytime.
anywhere, anytime. And we talked about some pretty disturbing topics at disturbing times. And people have asked us what we're talking about and thought we were talking about something. And we were, but we've managed to turn around and say, no, we're just talking about this. And the best one was where we were lined up and we had candles. And then we started to talk about how difficult it is when you get wax in the carpet.
Yeah,
And
hard to get out.
we were totally being double entendre the entire time. We were filthy talking. I mean, like,
No,
if
yeah, no
you knew the
cussing,
topics,
uh,
no cussing, but if
no
you knew,
deep stuff, but we're literally talking about candle wax on carpet
yeah.
because
But
they just
if you
put down new carpet in the ballroom.
they're putting you a caveat about, but the way we were doing it, if you knew anything about that kind of world where wax and wax play happens, you would think we were having a deeply disgusting, dirty, sexual conversation. But
And I
we were
think
doing
that's
it
what
because it was hilarious because no one else got it.
happens. And this is why Karen and I always recommend like have that business buddy, right? Because you're gonna have that moment. You need the laughs, you need to have the balancing, but it also helped us get through that because neither of us wanted to be there that day. I'll admit it.
No,
Neither of us wanted to be there.
no.
It was not a fun to us because we put in so much work into it. And of course, things change all the time. And we responded and got through it, but we needed an outlet. And if you don't have that outlet with someone, we would have just now you're
Yeah,
nasty to everyone.
yeah. And I've had one of my other friends, she's actually said when she spoke to us, you know who this is, Disney girl.
Mm,
I'm not gonna throw her name under the bus. Real good friend of mine. She's like, you and Steve, sometimes when you talk, it's like you're both boys. You're both a pair of lads, just bantering.
yeah.
We talk like a couple of adults when we the humor, the crudeness, the jokes, but we also in our joking behavior, we ridicule each other as well. Like he'll say, "Oh, I did this with my email." And I'm like, "Oh no, God, Steve, no, you have no idea what you're doing with email. Will you just stop trying to do something? Like, what the fuck? Why are you even still trying to do that right?"
Exactly. And you got to have those conversations with, that's what kept us on track in our businesses too, because
Yeah,
we had that relationship. Well, we're going to be honest with each other and call out each other's shit.
yeah.
But
But
it took us a while to get there.
yeah, but that those comments were you actually doing a good job and
Mm.
everyone being surprised that you knew something. So I would just pile on with how bad you are at it because everyone
Oh,
else was like, "Oh my God, you can do that." I'm like, "No, Steve, you can't stop just like confusing yourself."
oh yeah. I just bring, international speakers in and I get razzed about it.
Yeah. And but I think here's the thing that you need to understand. So we came from this really, if you had been a fly on that wall on day one, there is no way you would have predicted this. Absolutely no way in hell. 6 months in, you still would not have predicted this. A year in, no. But now it's got to the point where we feel that trust because we've shown each other that we both know what we're doing, both know how to run things. We both think very systematically, very organized, we have these different things of doing it. We both bring two different perspectives to it. But we also have this other part, like if Steve calls me and says, do this, it gets done. And vice versa. I'll give you an example. What was it, like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago? You call me at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon and you're like, hey, so I was on this summit last night and you need to be there.
Yeah. The
You
summit
have to
started at
be
3 in the
3
morning.
a.m. on 3 a.m. And I'm like, but it's 3 a.m. And you're like, no, I'm telling you, you need to be on this at 3 a.m. Fine. Where was I at 3 a.m. the next morning?
On the summit.
And then
One
we have
hour
a great,
later, what was that text you sent me 1 hour later?
okay, yeah, this was worth it.
And it was a 10-hour summit. So 3
Each
a.m.
day,
per day,
and it was
3 days.
multiple days, 3 days. And then, but vice versa, I got involved with a group and I'm like, Steve, you're in this group and like I need to get you to step up and do more in this. And you're like, okay, why? I says, because I'm telling you to.
Yeah.
What was it within 3 days you were talking to the owner of the group and you're already now completely signed up and locked in?
Yeah, we're besties.
We're besties. But if you take day one and compare it to today, there is absolutely nothing that says that we should be friends.
Right.
Zero. But because we allowed ourselves to get to know what each of the skill set was, and I think that's where it got in, we learned what each of the skill set is. And if you caught it on the last podcast, I even told Steve that he needs to increase the grit on his sandpaper with me. Because how Steve treats me for business, it would make some of you cry. I'm not joking. You would make some people cry with how you talk to me.
Well, because we've gotten to that level. And I didn't do that with all my clients too. I mean, some of them we got to that level. Others I knew, oh, listen, I got to walk on eggshells with them for now. We're going to progress before the gloves come off.
Yeah. But I'm like, no, you can increase it with me because I know I can take it from you. And I also know that if I asked you to give me a safe word, you would totally give me a safe word and make it something so ridiculously stupid
Right.
that you'd know when to back off. But it
It's
came
never
from
about
a
me too. I'm looking out for
no.
your interests and what your goals, and you're coming to me like, I need to get to my goal. And I'm like, I'm going to help you get there.
Yeah, and I'm just going, okay, you can be a bit rougher on the sandpaper now. You can go better, a little bit of
Right.
a tougher grit. But this developed from I wouldn't say I don't think we ever hated each other or disliked each other. I'd say that
Annoyed.
we annoyed each other and we didn't see a reason to respect each other in the day one. I
Yeah.
couldn't see a reason to respect you and you couldn't see a reason to respect me, other than just general human respect. I mean, that was a given.
Yeah.
Neither one of us have ever done anything beyond like general human, it's always been there. And then it was, oh, hang on, this person has some skills.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, this person makes sense. And that's what we were both doing. And then it became if you let Karen and Steve do it, it gets done.
Yeah. People just said, hey, just tell Karen and Steve, give them an idea, not the idea.
Because
They're
no,
going to
we're not
take
going
it
to
to
do
a
every
whole
idea.
nother level. You won't even, you'll be blown out of the water. It'll be done before you turn around.
Yeah. And we do that. We create that and we have those things happen. And now I know I can call Steve with absolutely anything, whether it be for me, for
Mhm.
business, it doesn't matter. Anything on any level, and vice versa. And me letting people into my inner circle, I don't do that very easily. And Steve knows that. And you're in that inner circle.
Right.
And it's a development thing. So that's kind of how we met and how crazy it's been. And some of the stuff we've said to each other and done to each other has been,
I know it'd make other people cringe, but we get it because we're not
we get
taking
it.
it so personal. And it's like, listen, if I'm telling you, hey, you got to do there, I know you, it was like about 2 months ago. he said, hey, I'm thinking about adding this into my business. And my first question was like, why? And then you're like, because of all this. And I'm like, that's an excuse. Give me the real reason. And then you said, well, I can do this and this and this. I go, okay, what's your mission? And you said it. And I'm like, did that match your mission? And you said, no. And I go, then don't fucking do it.
But then I came to you with something else and I said, and I've done yours for your LinkedIn.
Right.
And you looked at that and you were like, you're a testimony on the page for it. Like,
Well,
holy
you
shit,
twist my
this
arm.
works. Yeah, I paid him. No, I didn't pay him, but
No, you didn't pay
it
me.
it was like one of those things. And I sent it. She said, "This is how I'm looking at doing it," and you were like, "I've never seen anyone do it like this before."
No. And I've been part of so many different groups, organizations. I think I've seen a majority of it. It's a lot of rinse and repeat or
Oh God.
R&Ding stuff. This was like, okay, I have not seen anyone do it. I've seen this and this, but not like this.
Hmm. And like with me and you, it's like when you were doing stuff, you were like, "Oh, I don't know about doing this, and maybe I should
Yeah,
do this." I was like, "Okay, so it's time to relaunch this business. It's time for you to redo this. It's time for you to get back into this."
right.
And then you went and looked, and you're like, "Oh, hang on, I can because this is now been done with." And you were like, "Thank you for telling me that I should do this because I went and looked at some stuff and I can now." And it was
Yeah,
just timing.
yeah, non-compete. And it was timing was right. So there had to be a reason, universe, whatever. But then it was like, oh crap. And what did I do that next day? I called you up and said, game on.
Game on. Let's do this.
I have a plan and I'm executing.
But we get to now. I'll tell you, if anyone else talks to you the way I talk to you, unless you tell me they have permission to, oh God, I will cut them down so quick and so fast.
Yeah.
And that I think that's where we get like the sibling stuff is because I can pick on you, but other people can't, and you can pick on me, but other people can't.
Right.
It's like that sibling thing.
Yeah, because we were at an event and everyone thought we were picking on each other and they don't understand that's the way we talk to each other. And we both, it's like half sentences code. We're not finishing each other's sentences. It's like go left and then the other one, okay. And they would go right, but we knew what we were talking about.
Yeah. And so, but this is how it's, and this is why we're here now, because I think between the two of us, and this is the thing I think everyone needs to know listening to this podcast, because we've just told you, like, I think we've been kind of vulnerable with some of the shit that we just talked about, because some of it was not
Big fan.
pretty. And if you had met us, what, 4 years ago, and you saw this, you would think we were both hot messes that didn't have our heads were firmly in our own asses, that we
Yeah.
didn't know even we did, we just didn't know how to put that perception out there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's true. 'Cause, yeah, I was getting burnt out in my business and
You
thank
had a
God
whole
I
bunch of
sold it.
personal stuff too.
And personal stuff was going on. That was, yeah, even longer than that, but still the personal stuff was coming in. COVID, uh, clients, everything, 4 or 5 years ago, 2020 was like a crazy year besides COVID. But yeah, my busiest year ever, and also probably my worst personal year, personally, my worst year. Best
Yeah,
business year, worst personal year.
yeah. So if you'd seen us then, you would have thought that we were just a complete waste of space, no
Yeah,
good, terrible people, treated each other like crap. But now you see is now I've actually had people go, "Oh my gosh, I wish I could have a friendship like you two have." Like, oh, I wish I knew them as well as you knew them. It's like just then ask them some questions, it's gonna be fine.
yeah. And we've introduced other people to one another. Go, well, I don't do this. Karen does, but here's how to talk to her, how
Hmm.
to act, and how to do this. And they're like, well, thanks for that insight. Why'd you give it to me? Because I know how she likes to be communicated to.
And same. I will say, okay, Steve can help you with your business, but don't go in there go, but because he'd fire you within the first two. I'd say you probably give him five ums.
Yeah. Or so tell me about your business. Well, it's something no one's ever done. And oh my God, it has rainbows and glitter.
No, I'm the only rainbows and glitter. Get that right. I am the
Yeah.
unicorn. No one else can have that. That is mine.
No, but we have those business owners, and this is where you need to have a group. I mean, before I even met Karen, I was in mastermind groups and facilitating mastermind groups, and still, even to this day. But having that group around, you actually develop the bonds. And I think that's what we're
Hmm.
getting to is like, listen, you go in a group, you don't know each other, and it takes a while to like figure it all out, figure them out, they're figuring you out. But all of a sudden, you're going to find something that you both click on, and you're going to create something totally magical. And from our point of view, we encourage you, find those damn groups.
Yeah.
Get in that, find that business buddy, whatever it may be.
And we clicked on the fact that we both got stuff done. And from my perception, I think you being as close a friend with having me as a close friend has softened you slightly.
Damn you.
And me having you as a close friend, I wouldn't fire clients before. I would struggle with it. And I would like be go, oh my gosh, I know this one's causing me. I'm having like, oh my God, but I wouldn't fire now because of Steve, because I've learned how to be a bit of an asshole because of him. I had fired
In a
clients.
nice way. In a nice, there's good
No,
asshole,
because
bad asshole.
I did have that one time where I completely lost it on the Zoom call and went, get that bitch off my call.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
I, I think at the two, when we first started really communicating, I know there was one, you had a client that was driving you, like you were gonna like check into the funny farm if you did
Hmm.
something that happened. And I offered, I said, do you want me to go take care of it?
Yeah.
And you were like, oh crap. No. And I go, then
Then
let
you
me
need
give you
to.
some simple steps to fire them immediately. And
Yeah.
you better call me in an hour. This should be
Yeah.
a 1 minute call. And you call me in an hour saying you are relieved and this person's
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah. I was the baby. I was like totally a little girly girl, sweet
Yeah.
princess,
They were
very
taking advantage of
easily,
you.
very easily hurt by people.
Yeah.
Like, and you helped me establish a lot of boundaries. You helped me develop a lot of self-worth as well as acknowledgement for what I can and can't do.
Yeah.
And I know I've done some stuff for you on the other side because we've both been able to. I think we were both on super extremes and we brought each other closer to the
Exactly.
a center line. But you need to find those people.
Absolutely.
And by us starting by knowing skill sets, what happened was then we started to realize that we could. The year that we had someone that just didn't show up to do stuff and it was supposed to be more than just the two of us doing it, and every time it took us maybe 5 minutes before we were supposed to go live to go, okay, that person's not here, we
Right.
have to take this, and it was like, you do this, I do this, you do this, you do that, done.
No one knew anything behind the scene. What happened,
Yeah.
and they all thought we had this plan for a long time.
Yeah. So find that person, but this is why we work so well. I'm the soft, kind, sweet, lovey-dovey one that will secretly hit you behind the head with a cast iron frying pan, or you know if I lose my shit, I will yell at you. Steve's the more direct, in your face person, but you get both sides, both perspectives, both angles in order to be successful.
Yeah, because we want each other to do great in our own businesses, but we also care that deeply about helping our clients. And we know you got to have the feather every now and then other times
Mhm.
you need, well, the whip.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. And so we're going to encourage you. Not only are we doing these podcasts, we're going to be opening up masterminds pretty soon. So you're going to have to be following along on the social medias. We will have a community group where you can come in and get a little touch of the accountability and a look at it, a touch of the connections. But we're going to be doing some masterminds where we will hold you accountable. We will push you. We will get you to network and cooperate with each other so that you can grow.
Yeah.
We don't play.
No excuses. I mean, been in mastermind groups, accountability groups. It's get it done, no excuses. And what I love about it is not us calling people out like on the BS of an excuse. It's everyone in the group starts realizing we cannot accept an excuse for you to grow your own business or your own goals to get to your goals. They're going to call you out too, and they're growing as well. And we all grow together. And it's been a magical thing to see how people call one another out. And I've seen it happen, and it's amazing. Whoever get called out, and they're like, you're right, that was an excuse. They didn't see it as an excuse until the group
Mhm.
said, stop with the excuse.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, though, I'll say we have had people who've had it, what they thought was an excuse, and it's actually, no, that's not an excuse. That's an actual damn good reason why you didn't do that.
Right. Yeah. I was in the hospital, broke my leg.
Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't run
Okay.
the marathon. Okay.
Well, and
Legit.
they're beating themselves up because they didn't run it, and they're thinking they have an excuse. I
Right.
had a fucking broken leg. Like,
Yeah.
no.
And that's another great thing about the group. They give you the permission to forgive yourself.
Yes.
It works deeper than just the accountability, and you got to let it go. As business owners and entrepreneurs, they beat themselves up over this stuff, but when you have a group or something, they're like, listen, that was legit, you got to let it go. Understand that. Great, you broke your leg, you had a marathon that you've been training for the last year. Guess what? Heal your leg, retrain, go next year. It's all good. It'll be fine.
Yeah. So now you know how we met. Now you know how we hate, well, didn't like each other,
Yeah.
didn't respect each other. And now it's like it is highly, at times it's highly inappropriate, but most of the time highly funny.
Yeah.
But it's also highly accountable. And this is what we want to share with you. This is what we want you to get to the point of where, yes, it's highly inappropriate, highly funny, but also highly accountable, highly real, and highly moving. So the goal for today, for this week, is the comments. If you have questions, I don't really care what the questions are. Go ahead, pop them in the chat. I, I might do a bonus one where I quiz Steve on all the questions you asked about him, and he can quiz me on all the questions you asked about me. And we'll try and be fairly transparent for most of it.
Yeah, we will.
Well,
But
but let us know how you met that person that helps motivate you.
yeah,
Or maybe it's someone you haven't met, it's someone you cyber stalk.
right. Or maybe it's someone who you'd like to meet. Put it down. Who is that person, that avatar? Because I
Yeah,
bet they're somewhere in your circle, a
yeah.
connection somewhere.
And you never know what's going to happen. I know just a little personal win for me. And when this happened for me last year, you were over the moon for me, Steve. You were just like,
Mhm.
you were screaming about it louder than me, like how good it was. I have someone who I've looked up and respected in my field for a very long time. I got into her mentor circle. Steve was one of the first. Run in her. Yeah. You asked me about that happened 5 years ago. I've been like, oh God, no, she's too big and too expensive and
Yeah.
too popular and too famous. No, no, no. Now I'm on calls with her every week. And it's like, so put it out there. If there's someone you want to meet, someone you want to like
Yeah.
inspires you, say it out loud because it can happen.
Yeah. I know you know this. I said at the same time years ago, I was like, well, I'm not ready for joint venture partnerships. I'm not ready for this, blah, blah, blah. And someone said, well, who do you want to meet? Write their names
Mhm.
down. So I wrote their names down and they go, great, where are they at? I connected with all of them on LinkedIn. He goes, okay, now message them. I did. I was a JV partner with all of them within 6 months.
Yeah. The people that are going to push your business are out there. Some of
Yes.
them are because they inspire you, some of them because they motivate you, and some of them because they treated you like an absolute fucking asshole on day one and treated you like crap and you acted really weird to them and they end up being the best mentor,
Yeah,
business partner, bouncing person you could ever meet. Don't sign anyone out until you actually have good conversations.
exactly. So let us know who those people are. Have you met them? You currently have them in your life, or you'd like to meet them? Who are they? And put them in the comments. Let's share and learn from each other. Anything else, Karen?
No, I think that's good. I think we'll see them next week on the next episode. I think we're going to have some fun conversations.
Absolutely. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's see those comments fly.
Thanks for joining us on the Tea and Coffee Hub podcast today. We hope you enjoyed today's conversation and it left you inspired, equipped, and ready to take your next step, whether that's in life, business, or maybe both.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss future episodes, and connect with us online and in person. Share your thoughts in the comments section. Until next time,
Keep sipping,
keep growing,
take action,
and stop making excuses.